2021-22 season, for the first time in probably his entire career, it looked like Lionel Messi was struggling to play football. He started his first season outside of his lifelong club, Barcelona, in a new country, a new club, and a new league, with different dynamics and play styles he had to adjust to. Throughout the entire Liga and season, he only managed to score a total of 6 goals, not even being considered as a finalist for this year's Ballon d'Or. The Lionel Messi we were all used to seeing completely dominate the pitch with his amazing dribbling, precise passing, and genius playmaking looked like he was long gone. Do you all remember the slander he had on social media? The full-time haters were thriving more than any other time in their lives, saying that Messi was finished, that he was a Barcelona product, and even saying that he should retire. But now in the 2022-23 season, it seems like all the patience that Messi and PSG fans have had might just finally pay off, as we are once again witnessing the Lionel Messi that we're all used to seeing, finally back in form and proving all the doubters and haters wrong. Now potentially elevating PSG even further as a threat that may very well conquer Europe at the end of the season. But more importantly, with the coming of the World Cup, possibly even have another chance to bring an unbeaten in 35 matches Argentina squad to a potential World Cup trophy. OneFootball will bring its library of video contents to the big screens for the first time. The OneFootball TV app is now available on Apple TV OS and Amazon Fire TV devices across the world, with Android TV, Samsung, and LG Smart TVs to follow before the end of the year. The entire ecosystem of OneFootball video content from the world's top clubs, leagues, and federations are available to watch now, alongside free and paid live matches, highlights, and breaking news now in the big screen. If you are in the UK and Ireland, you can watch this weekend's Serie A game, Bologna vs Sassuolo, among many others. So go check out the OneFootball TV app now. I'm sure we can all remember how tough Messi's transition to PSG was. It was so bad that around half a year ago, I had to make a video talking about why Messi's struggles were understandable and why people needed to just give him time and be patient, waiting for him to adjust to a new team, new coaching style, and a new league. And yes, even as a Ronaldo fan, I have incredible respect and admiration for Messi, believe it or not. I just couldn't stand all the blatant disrespect and trolling. But we all know there's a stigma surrounding Ligue 1. Now officially known as Ligue 1 Uber Eats, it's brought even more jokes and memes upon French football, only further extending the stereotypes of it being a farmers league. So naturally, when Messi was announced he was heading to France, people already had high expectations. I mean, of course, it's Lionel Messi. He would have high expectations no matter where he went, but the fact that he was going to Ligue 1 only made those expectations even higher. I remember some people saying he would potentially have one of the best performing seasons in Ligue 1. And yes, many including myself thought that PSG would be unstoppable with Messi, Mbappe, and Raymar. On paper, who could really stop that insane attack? Well, the answer is the only ones who were really stopping them were themselves. It became more apparent that their chemistry, especially between Messi and Mbappe, wasn't all there. There were times you could visibly see them denying each other from critical passes or major chances that could have resulted in a goal. And you could even see them visibly frustrated at some decisions the other was making on the attack. Added with the fact that their former manager, Pochettino, did not really have a clear strategy, who at times was seen by some of his colleagues and peers as an incompetent manager, who couldn't really handle big name talents and egos, or even stick to a certain playstyle or philosophy long enough without having doubts and changing things up constantly. Messi kind of had to take a step back as he was adjusting to a new club that wasn't really revolved around him, having to play more of a facilitator or playmaking role, which we all know he's incredibly amazing at. But even by his standards, amazingly, 15 assists in 34 appearances, or 0.44 assists per match, is seen as below average for Messi, where it would have been seen as amazing if it were any other playmaker. I know, but it just wasn't as high as it could be, as his chemistry with his teammates wasn't all there yet. His biggest criticism was no doubt the total of 6 goals throughout the entire Liga and season. Even including all competitions, Messi only had 11 goals in 34 appearances, having an all-time low 0.32 goals a game average in his adult career. Admittedly, it wasn't great, even for your average striker, and the fact that Messi missed many critical goals, most of them being potential stunners, must have definitely affected his confidence and form. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any other player that season had hit the crossbar as often as Messi had. With a total of 14 times, he nearly had a goal, but was stopped by hitting the woodwork. And when you're already struggling in a new league and you see some of your best shots just barely go in and hit the crossbar, anyone who's played before will understand it certainly doesn't help with your form. And with PSG's surprising exit in the Champions League after Karim Benzema's insane hat-trick, Messi, his teammates, and the club had to go back to the drawing board and figure things out. And although I don't have proof, I can almost guarantee you that Messi heard all the noise. He knew what the media was saying, he knew what the haters were saying, and he knew that he didn't perform up to his expectation. Most athletes pretend like they don't care or take notice to any of this talk, but they most certainly do. And with the upcoming 2022-23 season, Messi was coming back for revenge and putting respect on his name. In just a few months into this current 22-23 season, Messi had already surpassed his total goal scoring numbers of last season. In fact, he's just a single assist behind to beat his previous total from last season as well. As of the making of this video, Messi has 12 goals and 14 assists in 18 matches. Now that's much more like the Messi we're used to seeing. Although not as insane, he still has amazing numbers. If we break it down by competition, he has 7 goals and 10 assists in 12 matches for Ligue 1, and 4 goals and 4 assists in his 5 Champions League matches so far, making it a total of 1.4 goal contributions per game in Ligue 1 and 1.6 goal contributions per game in the Champions League. And amazingly enough, Messi is the only player this season so far with both double-digit goals and double-digit assists. And I know everyone is focused on Erling Haaland so far this season, and rightfully so, as he's been insane with his goal scoring. But if you add it all up in total, Messi equals the same amount of goal contributions as Erling Haaland does so far. Keep in mind, Messi is 35 years old. To see him making this kind of comeback after the struggles he had last season is a joy for football fans. I mean, look at this graph of passes into penalty areas and shots. Of course, everyone is bundled up in the average, but if we look at the most contributing player to both factors, it's Lionel Messi that stands all the way in the corner, bringing the best of both passing and scoring to his club. All the Mbappe drama with PSG has seemed to have died down. Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe are playing with a newfound connection that is honestly scary. Not to mention Neymar is in one of the best forms he's ever been in the last few years. Watching some of their matches and highlights, I've noticed there's a lot more willingness to share the goals, highlights, and make the right plays. Last season they were all a bit selfish, Messi and Mbappe especially. But this season, with them working together and having a better relationship both outside and inside the pitch, plus the trio individually being in amazing form, PSG's attack just became a lot more deadly. The way that they're scoring goals and assisting each other is just crazy. All three of them are starting to focus on one thing: putting the ball in the back of the net, not caring who does it or how it goes in, just looking for the most quick, easy, and effective way to achieve that outcome. Heck, even though Sergio Ramos had joined the club last season, it's just now that they're really developing a good chemistry as teammates. Even Ramos is assisting Messi in some absolute banger goals. Yes, something I'd never thought I'd witness just a few years ago, as they were the fiercest of enemies. But when you see just how much more of a team PSG is becoming, I'm just now thinking that they are truly a force to be reckoned with. Last season, you could point out a lot of issues early on, but now with Messi and Neymar being in amazing form and Mbappe having better chemistry with the two, I'm not sure there's a single club out there that can take them lightly. PSG will be very deadly this season, and I'm calling it now. They're easily one of the favorites to make it to the Champions League final and win everything. They also got rid of Pochettino. It was no secret that he and Messi did not get along or agree in terms of club playstyle as well. But under their new manager, Christophe Galtier, a much more stern and disciplined coach who was able to win Ligue 1 with Lille, as well as being a 3-time Ligue 1 Coach of the Year, the club altogether has had more direction and a game plan to follow. I mean, look at the guy. Already looks like he's not to be messed with compared to Pochettino. No offense. So now everyone who was joking that PSG and Messi were frauds might just have to watch out, because this year they can be very scary. And just recently, the Champions League round of 16 has matched up with no other than Bayern Munich, the same club that denied Neymar and Mbappe a Champions League trophy and humiliated Messi and Barcelona with their 8-2 blowout win just a couple of seasons ago. You can bet that with PSG as good as they have ever been, that the trio will be out for revenge. Easily the most anticipated Champions League matchup so far, and many of my subscribers seem to agree as well. But right now, probably the scariest thing about Messi being back in form is that Argentina have been on an absolute tear in world football. Messi has led his country to a 35-match unbeaten run, and it might very well be possible that they break Italy's all-time record for the longest unbeaten run of 37 matches. That's important because in just a couple of weeks, the World Cup is starting, and we all know there's no other sport where form is as big of a factor as it is in football. Many have Argentina is one of the favorites to win this year, even more so with all the injuries other countries are facing. So we might very well see Messi continue his brilliance of both scoring and playmaking in the World Cup, giving Argentina another shot at the finals. But it's crazy to say that Messi coming back in form is such big news, because the ultimate truth is that he's getting older. This is going to be his last World Cup, and rumors are saying he might very well be joining Inter Miami in the MLS next season. Although Messi isn't my favorite player, it's always been an absolute joy to watch him play. And it saddens me to see my idol Cristiano Ronaldo at nearly 38 years old finally showing signs of major decline and getting the same treatment from haters that Messi was receiving last season. I mean, at the age of 35, the same age Messi is now, Ronaldo had 36 goals and 4 assists in 44 appearances, which at this age is already incredibly rare. So I just want to say you should appreciate the greatness while it's still around. We truly might never see this display of football genius and longevity ever again, because it's only a matter of time before it's an end of an era. I already know there's going to be a lot of arguing in the comments, so I just want to ask to show respect for the final years of these two footballing greats.